All right, so let's hear some stories here.
Oh,
What he's going to say is he will be speaking in the language.
Yeah, that'll be fine. Yeah, speaking your native language is fine. Just kind of pause a little bit. He'll tell the story for you there.
That's good.
Yeah. You be sure to speak real loud now so everyone can hear you.
Yeah. Okay.
All right.
Okay. What he's saying is he will be speaking our traditional story about becoming a manhood.
Okay, now po kukuha magamot po. Di ho tikiten tu kulian po. Tu imon tu kukuha magabo.
Okay, during the olden days, and when a child becomes adult, like middle age, a young, manhood. Also the ladies and the girls as well. What does is the chiefs from every houses goes into the house where the boys or the girls sleeping. They have to grab them in the night, and while he's fully asleep, grabbed him and then mocked him, said that yes, you are in a manhood now. And also the girls as well.
Ke mana na ku mai count babo. Etu boleran tu. Etu ko kipa papona, kipa etu bolerin na. Kipa ko etu tumal montu.
All right. What happens is while they grabbed either the girl or the boy in the night, they were held tightly, firmly, and they were removed from any of his friends which was laying. They sleeping fastly inside the man's house or in the lady's house. They are taken to a special building that is built especially for that purpose. So they were taken there, and they put out the mat, very clean mat, and these people, either girl or boy, girls are taken to a different girls' house, and the boys are taken to a different location for the boys. They're not put together on the same house.
Okay, mana ne. Aku maran tu babo. Kuai tayo bikuman tu kei numan ne. Dio tu babo luai te ereman ba. Ne voi pa hai pa. O wame aku ko kei bona ke tara utu.
All right. Once they were put in those special house, man, it was so sad for those people, the boys and girls. They want to become a manhood. It's not just one man we're talking, or one boy or one girl. It's talk about manhood means, within the whole village, or maybe within the whole tribe. You have to put everyone in that house. So it will take around 2 months or 1 month. They are in that house, and they are not allowed to be seen outside the house during the daytime or nighttime. They are kept very secret, under the full security by the chief, so that everybody put eyes and they stays there. And what happens is they don't eat. They're not provided any food. What it does is, if the uncles means like the child that was brought into that house, his uncles, like mother's relatives, mother's brother, mother's niece, or relative of the mother, has to rush in the night very quiet, very secretly, comes to the house. Whatever food that needs to be given to the child has to be secretly provided, not by anybody. So the mothers was like, they were given like they were okay, but it is in secretly, so that nobody sees it. The chief doesn't see it.
One hari hari pahite, mana ne, koi makai ne pahite, mana ne, isai muka, jago, kami baul pakai ini, katanya aku una pahite, katanya, mana aku mana kau, aku mana itu, tapi kau pun itu.
Tapi gue kenapa? Okay, what after that the men's in that house or ladies in that house, whatever they do is during the night they are secretly given the food. After that, when it becomes daylight, before the daylight, all these people, all these young girls, young men have been taken out like a sheep, you know. They go out in the bush, in the woods, and they go out whatever, you know, fruits that's been eaten in the bush to fill up their tummies.
So what you're telling me here is, after they get finished being in the house for so long,
Yeah.
then they take them immediately and release them in the bush. Now, will they be together as a group or is it just one?
Just one.
Just one.
What
in the
happens
bush by himself.
What happens is the everyday routine. Once they are given that preference to get into that house, that means this guy is on his responsibility to get out very early in the morning, to go out there in the woods, to find whatever food he can manage to eat. Not the food that is being cooked, a raw food.
Raw food.
That applies to the young ladies as well, you know, young girls as well. And they are given choice to climb the tree, which is called a big tree that is very tall, to climb up the top of the tree and cut down the top branch of the tree, the trunk that is going straight up, cut it down, and then that's it.
Na aku pun ni paling mungkin nak malam 7 or 8 or paling 5, 6 gitu. Paling mungkin kalau
Đâu tên nhé.
Isai punya buat. Jika ibu buat. Dan itu juga. Tapi kalau itu papa lupa itu yang katanya aku nanti kalau itu nanti biar aja. Mention tu. Ini urban mantu.
Okay, what after that, you know, they this release on every morning out in the woods. They were all in a group, but they were in a single, like, you know, they can go together, but, you know, girls, ladies, you know, scattered out in their own locations, and the boys on their locations. What happens is, once they go out, they are released out, they're not allowed to wash, they're not allowed to eat any food that has been, like, you know, we friends, and if you are out in the woods, hungry, your friend might bring a very hot plate of food, you know, hide it in the bush, you know, these sort of things. But for them, they were very, you can go out there and do it, but they had the spiritual, naturally spiritual people who were really supernatural. They can clearly see what you're doing by vision. So, you know, any boy or any friends might do that, they will be called into a chain bar, which is made by the chief, and they will be asked questions for it.
Oh, yeah. Some discipline action to put on them, huh? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so basically what you're saying was, at first they're letting them go out there in the daytime,
That's right.
out of the little house to get their own food.
That's right.
But then they'd always, at nighttime they'd go back to there. Is this at first?
At nighttime,
They
they
go
all
back
come
to the
back.
house.
They come back.
They come back to the house.
Right.
That's right.
Okay.
Right to bed.
And then after, for how long do they stay in the
They
house?
stay there for two to 1 month.
2 to 1 month in the
Yeah.
house. Okay, and then after that, then they go out into the bush by themselves,
Themselves. They go out in the woods themselves.
or out in the woods.
They are grouped in 7 or 10 or 11
So at
people.
first they're in a group of like 7 or 10.
Yeah.
What did you get?
So they are lead inside that group. They are lead by a person who's already married, and he's already been into the same process. And he
It's a
knows.
mentor.
Yeah, that's right. It's a mentor, and what he does is to look after them. Anybody, as I said earlier, anybody might come with a hot plate of food, and come and say,
So can the mentor, does he
That's
get
right.
food though?
no,
Mentor
doesn't-
don't get
he's
food
on a
either?
very high security, he's on a very high alert. If he does that, what happens is, he's gone.
Yeah.
You're gonna hand him the money.
Oh really?
So, it's like restricted. It was so restricted. And they go out, every man has to go and find their own food at the daytime. Nighttime, it's just like prisoners, you go and do whatever jobs and you come back in the same time.
Yeah.
And once they come in the house, they just go straight in. They don't talk with no one.
They're not allowed to talk either.
No. Ako ay ko kaya nai mo ito mo tumago kaya kima do ito ko ko ni ento. Ito ni kemi po kima ko tuma so wa ma ta ko ko ako mali na. Ako kaya ite bali tento. Ko ka pere na hoina na mali te ko mali te. Ire na hoina no ora ko kero maka bolen to kero maka ba itu te ta ko Uke wo nyumba tiri pale ura kutoka hapo kula kama mtu aitu kakamuna hapo mbali.
All right. What happens during the days on the side of having meals? We're very restricted, and once they come back for those days, their eyes and their body, color just changed to pale because of the longness. They didn't wash. Their body were really pale, and hunger. They're so hungry, and they didn't have any nutrition, like anything in their body, and they were provided a little bit of. I think within 2 to 3 weeks, 4 weeks, over, or 5 weeks is over, they provide a little bit of bamboo sago. The bamboo sago is going to be held by the father, and then what's going to do is the father gets the bamboo sago, he breaks the bamboo sago down, and get the top part, cut it off, and the bottom section, cut it off. He peels it out. The middle part of section has to be taken out, and that half piece of sago will be given to the son. The both side will be eaten by the father, taken back by the father, and also the cup of water. Little sip and takes away from the son. Once it's taken away, that's it. That little sip will take it. That was traditional, manhood practice.
They still do that today?
Yes, we do still do.
You did that?
I once did, but it was too tough for me.
Maribu Mubu, Pakumuntuan, Hatilan, which one had to go collectible, Kayakipo. My lady ran go Aragamagari.
All right. Well, during this time, since our time, my time, came in a little bit of stop because of those people who did that traditional manhood organization, like people organized those sort of ceremonial. And the last fellow that holds that ceremonial arranging like arrangements that is called process that he knows that it goes through, only I'm left. And those my friends that we all were together to arrange those, they lost their life. And I'm the only one left, and there is nobody who can support me in natural, supernatural scene that you will see in all the practices are all gone. So you can see me now, I'm the only guy left here that I can give you that information about what during the time that when we were arranging manhood, that was the only people, only friends that we were involved to arrange, where some of them lost their life, and the only guy that is now remaining is myself.
One last chocolate. When we like on to and out in Maracabo, near Montuga, Una, the table for in when you go, you must have a Mokabu. Okay, will you go to take it? I'm not glad, but they came to go better than to go. Never keep up on Nemanane. Originale, a bit of the Peruvian. I had any book over in one Pulukulai, I said to her, he went to Lara. We have book of them to help current.
All right. During that time, once all the manhood will come to an end, to finish it, but probably they stay there for at least a month, and they see that some are really pale and some look very sick, you know, for that process. To end the whole show, all people were released in the bush, and they made a very big road. They cleaned the bush up right in the woods. There's no stator thorns or no nothing, ropes that is along the road. There's trip trap hazards or nothing. They just clean it up, and the straight road linked to a very big tree. And that tree is called, that's where the end of everything. It's a very huge tree. They have to delegate, or probably they have to allocate the place. So that at the back of that tree is called people standing with a whip. Very strong people, very strong man has got a whip, probably a very long stick, and it's called like a branch of tree, and it's a very special tree. I've been beaten by those trees when I became manhood. It's a very painful thing.
So to become a man, you gotta get beat by the tree,
yeah.
Okay.
So, and they will like these guys, you know, escorting you to that wood, will say that, come on, let's go, and we see what's at the back of that tree. You know, they try to trick these guys, you know, and once they are gone one by one, they are beaten very badly, you know, at the back, you know.
How many people beaten them?
All of the rest, you know, about 4 people or 5 people standing in the back of that big tree. And then that's the once they're beaten up, it's the brothers of that, the brother of me, probably might be standing at the back. And
You better hope you never pissed him off, huh?
oh, that is one of the things that really piss you up, you know.
I bet.
You will get really mad. Why these guys are beating me up, you know? And you still never gonna forget. You still remember in your brain.
Oh,
you know?
I bet. I bet.
So they have to belt this guy all the way out to the ceremonial house, and the ceremonial house is built. Inside of that house is built with the palm tree that we were making Sago out of it. You know, the
Yeah.
palm tree leaves.
Yeah, the big leagues.
That's
yeah.
right. That's the palm leaves that we use it inside the house. Just do it like not a tent. So they built it like not a tent to keep these guys. When they come in, they are straight into that house.
Be hot in that house.
Yeah. So it's very hot.
Yeah, I bet it's real hot. Hot in that house.
Yeah.
That's some thick
That's right.
leaves.
So, you know, after that, they were sent through that small house. They were taken into that house by the uncle of that the young man who's in that ceremonial house, not by other people. All right. After these guys, you know, either 7 or 8 people were brought back into that ceremonial house, and they were given a very, very hard task. It's a very hard task. What I said, it was the something that the chief already provided, got it ready. They were given those things to eat. Some of the things that I will mention is the worms. They were given the live worms into the mouth, and very hot ginger, very special ginger we use here. They were given those gingers, and some very, very strong leaf that we normally use here for that purpose. And those leaves are very eaten in that time was very hard. You cannot swallow it because it's very hard. I have done once, but I just swallow one, but the other one I want to swallow it was very hard. It's just like chloroquine, so yucky, you know. And also some very important things like live like small lizards, live, you know, it's not killed one. They have to put it in your mouth. And
So you're gonna eat a live lizard,
live
some
everything,
worms.
some worms, it's just live, you know.
And it was like Fear Factor tenfold here.
Yeah. So
Eat the hot leaves.
it's the hot leaves,
Ginger.
gingers, and some bark of the trees that is very strong. And yeah, and man, I tell you, very, very hot. And yeah, they really, even some passed, some were very tricky. They have to, but you know, these chiefs were very, their eyes were like supernatural. They can see in 2 eyes, like normal eyes and spiritual eyes. So during the times, once these guys pass their task, their eyes opens up, their ears can hear from the distance, their body motions can be like floating with the supernatural, you know. It's like they call it the magics, you know, magicians. So they can be seen invisibly. People can see, like you sitting here, but you're just feeling like nothing. You cannot touch him, but you can see with your eyes sitting here. So they were given those tasks once they were given all these things, and they were tested by their own chiefs.
How many people failed? Lots?
Yes, it depends on if it is 8, probably 4 or 3 might, you know.
It's about half the class
Yeah.
wouldn't make it.
Will make it because of the beliefs. It was the belief. If you do one little mistakes,
That's
2
it.
little mistake, that's it. You don't get the power. It's like we say 10 girls, 10 boys, 9 boys. Depends on the selections that, as I said earlier, once you sleep in amongst your parents in their house, or either in a man's house, you are chosen to go and attend the ceremony.
And you do this too, huh? Yeah.
He did. He's saying he did.
Yeah. It's a tough task.
But he didn't got the supernatural power because for certain reason. It's like if you get the natural superpower, when I get angry with you, you're dead. So because of that,
Don't get
he
angry at
wants-
me then.
because of he wants to live peace in the community amongst the people. That's why he refused to get the power from the chief. So that's why you can see him now that he can live, because he made himself the decisions that if I be more aggressive, I don't live on this world. You know, somebody had the same power than me to put me down.
Good politics, huh?
Yeah, it was a politics team. you know.
Politics the way back when.
That's right. Back in olden days.
Just keep your nose clean and then you'll
That's
be
right.
okay. Huh?
You'll be okay.
You must have done pretty good. You outlived everyone.
That's right. So the people who was my friends who did this left, you know, they passed away, and it's the only guy that I'm living, and I still pass on the same information to my families. That was, you know, it was a good life, but in the other end it was politics. They can fight amongst each other. Eight.
90
Oh. So it's he went through those process, and then what happened was he quit from these activities, and then Christianity came during 1980. That's when he joined. When the missionary came, he joined as a pastor. And he quit all the magicians and sorceries and all these things, and he became a pastor to preach the word of God. And from there, he left the job as a pastor during 1990, from 80 to 1990, and here he is. And He's back at home.
So he went from sorcery to Christianity.
That's
Became
right.
a preacher.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good story. It's a real good story. Yeah, and God's blessed you well.
That's right.
Yeah. How many kids do you have?
Uri paraya gi tuarigo. He has only one child. Got one boy. That's it. No more.
Grandkids?
No, still growing up.
Still growing up.
Around 17, 16, 17.
Oh.
He didn't have wife for a long time. Just recently got married around 90s.
Well, good deal. Well, thank you for the story. I appreciate it. That's a very interesting story. And you went through a lot.